Okay, so end of yesterday's, everyone was dead, basically. So I suppose we carry on and see exactly what's going to happen.
Quick and quiet.
Oh no.
Think we picked up a few too many spoils.
Okay. So new spanky stuff. Okay, that's not much better. Sorry, just trying to find a place to put this stupid bar. Back to the game. Is that covering anything there? No. Top left, maybe. you.
Hail, traveler.
This man appears to be hurriedly dismantling his camp in quick, jerky movements. He looks up as you approach, his expression tense and drawn. Greetings, he says, a little breathless. On your way south, is it? He wipes his brow, turning to face you. The sooner you're clear of these woods, the better, I think. Look, and I'm sorry to hear it. You should be fine from here. There's no missing the veil if you keep to the road and you haven't far to walk. But you'll want to keep clear of this place after that. We were just attacked north of here, me and a friend of mine. We came out here to hunt some deer. Came up on a bear instead. Great monstrous thing, and Pearly, he didn't make it. He shakes his head. I don't know what I'll tell his wife. In any case, the forest already cost me a friend. I'm heading home before it takes anything else. Who are you? Name's Norton, born and raised in Gilded Vale. Having to spot a look since his face looks luckier than Pearly, I suppose. In any case, this forest already cost me a friend. Yada yada. Where did you find this bear? In a cave away up that way. He turns to point to the northwest. I wouldn't seek it out if I were you. It was a great brute of a beast. Would hate to hear that it took another life. Sounds like a dare to me. Okay, farewell. Oh, hello. Lootable. Dun, 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 dun.
Quick and quiet. Death to our enemies.
Somehow I get the feeling that's not the bear. Might scroll through eye sockets and over femurs. Nice. It drifts suspended in the musty air of the cavern. Its form and features blur and twisting cascading ripples of incandescence. You feel its energy ebbing around your limbs, filling them with a heavy chill. You reach out a hand for the spirit. In the moment of contact, you feel as if you have been struck a blow, head reeling as you tumble helplessly into a waiting darkness. Light blooms at the edges of your vision. You feel the sun at your back and the weight of a bow in your hand. You know suddenly that you have come a long way from the Vale, hunting deer. Now you are standing before a caravan, and the darkness extends far into its depths. Even so, your friend strides out before you, his red cloak flapping at his heels. You follow, heart hammering in your chest as he leads you deeper into the cavern. There is a roar like thunder echoing around you. Fear seizes you, casts you suddenly back towards the exit, towards light and escape. You see a glint of steel, and there is a sudden terrible flash of agony behind your knee. You scream, tumble, fall. Your thoughts are chaos, lands tweak with pain, but in a moment of terrible clarity, you see your friend look back from the mouth of the cavern, his dagger daubed in crimson to match his cloak. And then there is a great dark shape above you, and then there is more pain. The vision recedes, and you are thrown back into yourself with seeming resentful force. The corpse lies at your feet, and the spectre lingers. In the span of energy between you both, you feel a sense of question, of confusion, of anger. Rage and grief seem to pour from the gleaming figure like smoke. For a moment, the spirit seems to burn bright in your head, fills with sickly triumph. The spirit seems to weaken with the force of its own exhaustion, growing fainter and fainter until you are alone once more. Okay, time to go kill the murderous bastard. And he's done a runner. A crossbow here anywhere? No. Okay. Inventory. Where the hell is the note gone? Journal maybe? Okay. Oh, nice. Attractive.
You must be one of the new settlers. Welcome to Gilded Vale. You'll be pleased to know that we've had some recent vacancies here.
I might reconsider your lord's
Nonsense.
offer.
Gilded Vale is a perfectly suitable village for those who respect the Lord's decrees. Besides, you won't find a better offer anywhere else in the Deerwood these days. And you look as if you could use a fresh start.
He looks round at the town, his face a mask of silver
Of course, we'll
contentment.
need to make some inquiries first. The inestimable Lord Radric VII has taken great pains to insulate our town from Widewind's legacy. Have you ever sired a Hollowborn child? An infant born without a soul, of course. Lord Raderick has made it his first priority to eliminate this scourge from our village.
Slightly
I should
mental.
warn you, stranger. Here in Gilded Vale, we have a special place for dissidents, charlatans, and those who would hide a curse in our midst. His lordship's wife is with child and due any day now. Without his approval, I shan't be able to find you a permanent settlement. It will have to wait until after the birth. We can continue our interview then, after the bell tolls from Radric's hold to signal my lord's new heir. In the meantime, you can find temporary accommodations at the inn just southwest of here.
She said, pitiful dumb things that breathe barely, but do not truly live. Some say the Hollowborn are a disease, some say they are a punishment from the gods. He raises his empty hands. In truth no one knows, but they began spreading after the Saints' War, and so the name Widewind's legacy stuck in honour of that foul, blasphemous pretender. His voice shakes with vitriol. I see. Lord Roderick decrees may seem strict at times, but he has our best interests at heart. He nods. Before I got here, I saw several people conducting a strange ceremony near some ruins. I want to mind where you mention that. Trespassing on Anglyfin ruins is illegal, not to mention dangerous. You probably saw someone attempting some new ritual to appease the gods. People will try anything these days. Baraf, have mercy, we certainly have. Biowak. If you'd been that close to a Biowak, you wouldn't be standing here.
Whatever your problem, it sounds like a matter for an animancer. However, the only animancer in Gilded Vale isn't in any condition to speak. Consider yourself fortunate. After she failed Lord Radric, we saw to it that she wouldn't profit from the misplaced trust of others. A bad cure is often worse than none at all. But if you're set on finding a bottle of troll piss or a dead Audra pebble to rub on your forehead, you're welcome to check her pockets. A little corpse stink is nothing when you're digging for shit. My advice, however, is to be satisfied that you escaped and leave it at that. Keep out of...
Listen!
2 tolls. Let that be the last.
3. Gods have mercy.
It seems your arrival is ill-timed. 3 bells toll only for the death of a Radric. I fear Lord Radric's heir is lost, or else Hollowborn, and so lost all the same. You should tread carefully. Circumstances have changed a great deal.
Where the messenger? I can't be sure of nothing right now. I advise you to get some rest in the inn or a stable before I get back. Me afterwards, I will know more soon enough. Oh well. The sunrise and all 3 stars. Okay, I'm guessing that's the temple. You see 4 people gathered by the door to the inn. Their raised voices and chopping gestures suggest an argument reaching its climax. This figure raises his hands for calm. His face is partially obscured by a hood, but his height and stature.
I meant no offense. Let's put this matter to rest over a round, shall we? My treat.
Hoping to soothe our pride with a few Adira coppers, eh? We don't need your coin.
Scissors. One of the other men points at the hooded elf. His eyes are red from drink, but his gaze is focused, mocking us even while he shelters in our village. Just goes to show you what these fancy Adira manners are worth. We don't take to that kind of treatment, not from foreigners, and specifically
Go
not
on.
from
Say it
Adira.
again. I'm itching for an excuse.
Fie, you're itching for the kindling touch of your sister, you cock's feather!
I'll cut that barrel-looking tongue out of your head.
This is a misunderstanding. I didn't say whatever it is you think I said. We've nigh quarrel.
That's where you're wrong.
Really?
Not quite how I hoped to get to know the neighbors. Thank you for your timely assistance with that awkward situation. Well, that is one way of putting it.
He straightens his hood and you note the remains of fraying embroidery on his gloves. His boots are caked with dirt of many months' travel, but the leatherwork beneath it is
I suppose introductions are in order after that little fiasco. Aloth Corvisor, at your service. Well, I'm a wizard by
about
training,
yourself.
and an adventurer by necessity. I was born in the Seathwood, part of the mainland of the Adir Empire, and both of my parents served the nobility, which afforded me an education for which I am grateful. However, there were no open positions in those houses, and so I decided to seek new means in a new land. And how exactly did you come to be here?
I was travelling with a caravan, but we were separated
Griffin
via some
Ruins?
winds.
Well, those can be dangerous places during the best of times, which these are not. And half the locals would arrest you for trespassing, and the rest would kill you outright. I'm curious, what exactly did you find there?
Several hooded figures operating a strange machine. Aloft goggles at you silently, apparently assessing your earnestness. Finally gives you
You
a
do
clipped
manage to
awkward
find
laugh.
yourself in rather interesting predicaments. I'm afraid that was a matter of misunderstandings and mistranslations. It doesn't help that people in these parts remember their war with Adir like it was yesterday. As should I, given recent events. It's just as well. I've had enough of the watered wine and lumpy beds at the inn. They say even the owner tired of the place. Just up and left one day. It explains quite a lot about the upkeep. Perhaps I could join you. I could use a change of scenery, and I find it's better to travel in numbers. Excellent. I shall follow you.
Okay, cool. Got a new follower? Oh, we've got here. Did I go?
Greetings.
Oh, greetings and welcome to the Black Hound Inn. The innkeeper bows her head curtly. Please sit where you like. Would you like a drink or a room? We have 2 available at the moment. I'm afraid we can't offer much by the way of a good meal today, unless you're fond of cold porridge. You some reliable help. Do you know of anyone looking for work? I can speak from experience, but we do have certain sorts coming by looking for work from time to time. If you want to hire someone on, I'd be happy to send them your way. Yeah.
Hail, traveler.
Your sleep is restless and fevered, assaulted by hisses and whispers, blanketed with a suffocating anxiety. You open your eyes to awaken and find yourself in front of Gilded Vale's gallows tree, the creaking of its ropes growing louder in your mind until the sound is deafening. Hanging from the tree is an old dwarf woman whose face has shriveled inwards like mouldering fruit. Her head hangs limply to one side. As you look at her, she looms larger and larger in your mind until she is mere inches from your face. Suddenly her head snaps up and her eyes open and they are empty, and behind them is a vast nothingness that makes your stomach drop. Her mouth slowly parts. With a gust of rancid air, she speaks a word, Watcher. You jolt awake, the foul smell of the dwarf woman's breath still permeating your nostrils. Sweat runs down your face in thick droplets and your skin is soaked from head to toe. You remember the woman. You remember seeing her decaying face when she spoke with a magistrate. He called her an animancer. Although it fills you with a new queasy apprehension, you feel a strange compulsion to see this woman once more, if only to confirm she is truly dead. Well, I'm gonna guess that she's hanging from the tree. Your favourite history contained in the essence of this man's soul, voices from his face seem to call out to you. You see a pennant waving tall and sluggish in the wind, a rising sun embroidered on the banner, the vanguard of a small troop of paladins. The atmosphere is buoyant, if restrained, and their armour has not yet been tarnished by the elements. This expedition is fresh, young, filled with zest and zeal. At the head stands a commander, awkward in full armour but determined in step. Despite the excitement of his fellows, he does not smile. There's a twist to his mouth. his countenance grim. He throws up a hand, halting his troops. Silence falls among them, revealing a dark thunder deep and low. He orders them to ready their weapons and spread out. Eyes dart from horizon to horizon, necks twisted to see the source of the sound. In the distance, dust and lightning, right on the ground as sticky and clouds race towards them overhead. The soldiers stand, only the staccato movement of their breath betraying their nerves. The commander closes his eyes, calling a blessing down on his troops. Invigorated, invincible, they wait as the enemy draws closer, poised to attack. Got distended body of an elderly dwarf woman dangles from a thin, crooked bow that sags at the tug of her noose. The bloated purple flesh of her neck, worn away in patches like moth-eaten linen, bulges over the rope that suspends her. The lifeless head lolls forward rigidly from one side to the other when the breeze shifts. You take a deep breath, clearing your mind, focusing on your objective. As you exhale, you feel yourself spreading out towards the hanging woman, perceiving all that lies between you and her with new, unfamiliar awareness. Once you have expanded enough to reach her, there is a sudden jolt to your mind, a ringing electric surge of images and words and sounds. Involuntarily, you shut your eyes and feel yourself being pulled down to some deeper consciousness in a space occupied only by you and the hanging woman. And when you open them again, she is staring at you with eyes clouded in a milky fog, a body still swaying in the wind, with no longer feel from a tree that stands planted in a misty void. The woman gives a slow nod of her head, the rope creaking as she does so, and she smiles at you.
Have you come here for me, dear? Or have you gotten lost? Ah, it is both, I think. Yes?
Her eyes squint as she peers down at you. How are you able to speak to me?
Is that what we're doing? Perhaps it just seems that way. Perhaps it is the easiest way for your mind to make sense of it. I think it is a very good choice. Did you now, dear? My, that would be something, wouldn't it? Could be luck, could certainly be. A storm can be a careless thing. Or maybe it got its hands around your soul but couldn't pick it up. A soul can be heavy if it stayed in one piece through its time. Strong souls, we call them in the trade. Cold, I mean. Call them. Those days are all behind me, no? The world looks a little different than it used to, is that it? Feels like you're noticing things for the first time that have always been there.
She nods.
You have seen past the shroud. It only takes an instant. Your soul remembers, yes? Remembers how it sees when it leaves the body, like being reminded of a dream you had forgotten. You are a watcher now, and a watcher you will stay.
The Watcher like a Witcher.
What indeed? Long hours have many animancers spent studying such things. Not I, no, not I. I'll tell you what I know, though, since fair is fair. And here we are, visiting, you and I, and it reminds me of better times. Souls pass on. Some say through Audra stones, which are the blood veins of the world. They leave the world for a time and are reborn into it, sometimes more than they were before, but usually less and seldom the same. For all souls there is a time where they do not live, yet have not passed on, and those souls roam the world, same as you or I, either living or lost. But no one sees them because they have forgotten how.
Fucking great, I've turned into Derek Akora. Mary loves Dick. Mary loves Dick. Mary loves Dick.
A watcher sees, though, knows what to look for. And sometimes they know a person just by looking at them, know where they've been in ages past when their bodies were other bodies. See memories even their owner can't recall. A wonder to behold when all goes well. A wonder. Me? I'll bore you to tears, though. And here I thought you'd come to visit me in particular. Caldara de Baranzi, of the Valian Royal Academy of Animantic Sciences. Not the greatest of their number, but I came here all the same because this was where help was needed.
She laughs, a rasping choked cackle escaping between rows of buttery yellow teeth, causing her body to bob up and down with each spasm. Seeing your blank expression, she catches herself.
Oh, come now. Such a question. As though the answer weren't plain as a rope tied for strangling. Allow an old dwarf her last bit of cheer. Well, I came where I was needed, didn't I? Offered my services to Lord Radric for a pittance. A humble pittance. I was to examine the Lord's wife, see why the gods have seen fit to poison her womb. Studied her for months, looked high and low for impurities, tested her valence, the permeability of her essence. Do you know what I found?
Tell me.
Nothing at all. A healthy woman, head to toe, blessed with a beautiful soul. Such a sweet woman, too. Meek, but warm-hearted. A few months' time, and the lord of the house demanded answers. For a time, I told him what he wanted to hear. Oh, yes, my lord. She is riddled with imbalances. I must have time to cure her. As the birth drew near, he grew impatient, as lords do. And this is where I've ended up.
So I was right then, he's batshit crazy.
A student of the soul. Something so basic, yet so poorly understood. But so many breakthroughs have been made in my lifetime. Had been made. Had been. To hear the locals tell it, we're a gang of soul manglers that preys upon the weak-minded. And the worst of us are. But the best of us? The best? Inspirations, miracle workers. My parents were soul twins. Miserable before they met, empty inside. It was an animancer who helped one find the other. Turned their lives around. You wouldn't believe the stories. Amnesiacs helped to remember their lives. The suicidal brought back from the brink of oblivion. The elderly afforded extra moments to say their goodbyes. How soon we forget when we're afraid. It's a fascinating science. A fascinating time to be alive in a place like Deerwood that does not control the research, no? I I love the Valian Republics for many things, but their recent caution will leave them behind, I fear.
I had other questions.
Of course, dear. Oh, nothing to be afraid of, I'm sure. It's just much to take in for some. Sometimes there's trouble sleeping or other difficulties.
She smiles at you reassuringly, fanning out a tuft of long whiskers that sprout from one of her cheeks.
You should see old Merwald. He could tell you much more than I. A watcher just like you. Helped many in his day. Took up in an old keep no one would claim. Not far, not far. Kadnua, beyond the Black Meadow. He will welcome the company.
Okay, looks like that's where I'm off next. Farewell.
Goodbye, my dear. It was lovely visiting.
Caldara closes her eyes and her head slumps forward over the noose, and your surroundings seem to bleed into your vision from some unknown place of waiting. Looked at you through narrowed eyes. Are you alright? You seemed lost just now. The last eyebrows receding to his head as well. That is interesting. It gives you a sly grin, and I expect this has something to do with the hooded figures in the ruins. In any case, I appreciate your honesty. Since we're travelling together, it's probably wise for us to share these things.
17 and a...
The smell of pipe smoke at once earthy and sweet winds its way into your nostrils. Your eyes trace the smoke to its origin, where you find a broad man with straw-coloured hair leaning against a mossy rock wall. His pipe held to his lips with one meaty hand. He looks you directly in the eye, but the look is not aggressive and regards you with
17 and a half. Well, it could be 18, depending on how you count the dwarf woman.
I'm sorry?
Dwarf woman. You were trying to figure out whether to count her as a full person. I think you oughta. The people hanging from the tree. 18 of them. Well, last I counted, anyway.
Is that what you people do
Name's
for fun
Adair.
around here?
Though to the people around here, might as well be 19. Don't think I'd put you much
Tripping
higher
down.
than 22, 23 tops. You look like the sort that likes to get involved.
What makes you think I was interested in the dwarf woman? He looks at you for a moment, his brow arched.
I was smoking over here, saw you staring at her. Twice I refilled my pipe. You never so much as blinked. Your mouth was so slack I took you for a Radric at first.
Do you know what a watcher is?
Let's not use that word round here. There'll be any number of Radric bootlickers within earshot. Ciphers, animancers, watchers. Same thing in the eyes of folks around here, Radric especially. They come to these parts all the time with their cures, preying on the desperate. None of them are who they claim to be. Of course, seeing you with that funny look, I'd be halfway inclined to believe you were having some kind of communion with that dwarf. Either case, maybe I'm not 19 after all. No offense.
You think you're going to be
The
hanged?
town's had it in for me for a long time now. Only fella who ever stuck up for me, well, he's number 18 up there. My headman on the farm. Used to be my captain during the war.
Why was your headman hanged? Fair enough, got involved. Redrick sent men down here the other day, said they had it on good authority. Someone in town was working with Kolsk, plotting Redrick's overthrow. Said if he didn't come forward right then and there, they'd hang every last one of us. No one's coming forward, so Swithin, that's my headman, he steps up and says it's him. They took him at his word. He sighs and shakes his head, his eyes fixed on the tree. Bound to happen sooner or later, if not for plotting against Redrick, then for protecting me. The war? Saints' War. Only one in my lifetime. Fella decided he's the living incarnation of Eophos. Other throws red Caris, barges on dry wood, so we gave him a dry wood and hello. Who's Eophos? Got a rebirth and redemption, formally anyhow. Maybe they call him something different where you're from. What's a dry wood and hello? He smiles at this, but it is the smile of one recounting a joke for the effect rather than enjoyment.
Pick the wrong god. That's what it comes down to. Used to be a lot of Aethys worshippers in Gilded Vale. That mess of rocks over there, that was a temple to him, to give you some idea. Then one day, somebody named Widewind shows up on Deerwood's doorstep. Says he's the living flesh of Aethys. Got an army with him. Suddenly, Aethys isn't so popular in these parts. My brother Woden and me, neither of us believed it. No way was that Aethys. He enlisted, and then I did too. But, he didn't make it back. After the war, people took to punishing Aethys worshippers, accusing them of treason. Got real ugly, especially after the Legacy started. Folks needed someone to blame. I was safe because I fought, but then this rumor starts that my brother, that he was on the wrong side. And I wasn't so safe anymore. Until my headman stepped in and said they'd have to hang him to get to me. Seems that's no longer a concern. Of course, the townies don't do the hanging these days, but when Raedric's men come, they got no problem doing the pointing.
Aleph glances at you and lowers his voice. You can see why I was eager to leave. Where am I going? Not a whole lot of places out there that don't think Wayburn's legacy started with Wayburn. We could travel together.
Seem to remember hearing something about that years ago. He tamed that place. People would seek him out for all kinds of things. Troubles of the soul, questions for the departed. Of course, that was back when you didn't have to say watcher with a hush on your breath. A man such as that, there'd be things I'd want to ask him. Don't know why I never thought of it before. Not sure how I feel about setting out with a stranger. And a strange one at that. But, truth be told, you might be the only one in town who wouldn't feel some relief seeing me swing from that tree.
There's a fine reason if ever
All
I
right,
heard one.
then. Guess I'll do some sightseeing. Long as you're not the one picking the sights.
Let's get going. Okay, no, wrong one. Load up. Oh, I can have two.
I haven't been in here for, must be 5, 6 years. Used to be real nice. Bright. Warm.
A man lies rested against the wall, lit by the dim illumination of the fading sconces. He has a gaunt, fox-like aspect, and his face is pale and damp with sweat. One arm is held loosely against his side, sleeves soaked with blood. He gives you an anxious glance as you near, his features twisted with pain. Have a care if you mean to go in. He casts a quick look towards the doorway to the left. This place is not so empty as I thought. Let's look up at it. Pay your respects. If I was seeing a little risky, isn't it? Think what the townsfolk would say. Safer down here than up there, even with the rats as big as they are. This temple isn't what it used to be, probably for the best. Times being as they are, you go into such position, Winston. I'm no looter. That's what you're thinking. Not one of his types either. Chin to his head. I just wanted to do some good, I suppose. Got my arm chewed up for a bit for it. Maybe you'd have better luck. These ruins around us used to be a temple of Ethos, the scattered god. A grand temple at that. It would come from all over the dry wood from Idacus even. These days. Till the war, of course. Then you'd get some of the stubborns and get it through their heads that their god was dead and gone. Instead, Landry said he's been too lenient on his food since he had his people go in and put them all to the sword, let them down. They're buried under a heap of rocks. Heretics are not their destiny to stop the legacy. Didn't do much of anything at all. They didn't deserve to go like that, chopped down in their god's house. If you can get down there, find their remains, maybe we can finally give them a proper burial. Whittier breathes out. No small task. There's coin in it for you if you need motivating. A pleasant surprise to see that someone around here has a shred of respect for the dead. I'll find them. Now the flame, I owe you a good turn, but listen, the temple's been sealed off for so long, it's crawling with creatures, but if you get past them, the priests would have been down on the lower floor. They'll be there still if they're anywhere. Those priests had all kinds of secret chambers, switches in the walls, trick sconces, that kind of thing. Keep an eye out and take care down there. I wouldn't want to have to send someone else after your remains. I'll wait here by the stairs and keep a lookout. Maybe try to patch myself up some. Oh yeah, magically he gets up.
Lava beyond seek.
Yeah, sure.
Lava will be on seek. Latharu beyond seek!
As blood drip to carry that to you for each other's to new coming body. So can I have, and I hope to release the surprise of an expecting homecoming for me to follow in a few days' time. Our village is much changed. Do not wish for you to worry, do not feel it is safe to remain. I know Rex will not approve, but the letter trails off you.
Latharu beyond seek!
Horn died and the ink upon it faded. In this time of hardship, let's just have a faith. Okay.
Latharu beyond seek! Latharu beyond seek!
Finds its way between the Great Eastern Ocean and the rest of the ocean. Hundreds of small islands in the midst of the water. Few dare brave its treacherous rapids. Return to tell tale of the adventures through it. Travel between the two oceans through which impossible great storms hammered the ships. To navigate in this alone should be enough to deter anyone from attempting the voyages until ships have gone down and tossed against the rocks. The weather and treacherous rocks are only a precursor to the actual horror of the archipelago. The terrors of the deep. No one knows how many creatures stalk the oceans waiting for unsuspecting sailors to drift into their wars, but we do know of some.
Let's see what's in here.
I shall deal with this one.
Into 22. And what was that sword that I just picked up? Into 21. Deflection, 12 deflection. They are made of thick iron and look very heavy. There doesn't appear to be much out of the ordinary about them. I'm sure it said read the large bell first, didn't it?
Let's see what's in here. Let's see what's in here. That's how it's done!
Haze fills the air coalescing steadily into a blur of distant mist. It gathers into the outline of what appears to be a dwarf, a shimmering echo that fades in and out of sight. But stronger than sight and sense within you of a powerful energy, it roils and sees with a grief that seems to spill into your own thoughts, tainting them until the sorrow is your own. Like a crashing wave, the energy surges towards and into you, and suddenly you are elsewhere. Before you is a brightly lit stone corridor, lined with torches and gleaming crystals. You run in, your footsteps echoing off the stone around you. You forget to tie your sandals, and then slipping from your feet, fouling your steps. You're late again. The rite's going to begin without you. You hear the tolling of a bell, and your spirits lift as you recognize the familiar warp tone of the right hand, representing the first of the dawn stars to appear in the night sky, and last to fade in the dawn light. You pray fiercely that this is the first of the chimes and not the last. The light fades as does the memory. When your eyes clear, the spirit is gone. Okay, so middle. So, right, middle, left, right, middle. You want anything down, Greg's? Huh?
Now it's strange looking back. All the time I spent here growing up.
Curses! Huh!
Let's see what's in here.
Death to our enemies!
Oh shit.
Feeling restrained. You better run!
Inventory. Area deflection plus 5. Camp, can it?
Curses!
Lavaru, be on seek!
Slippery devil! Damn it!
Thought you died then. Let's get around through the door this time, is it?
Lavaru, be on seek! Lavaru, be on seek!
You're mine.
Oh, for God's sake.
You won't show them the wit feather yet! Death to our enemies! Death to... Ah!
Damn it! We gotta take better care of Vala.
Ah!
Might have bit off more than I could chew, yeah. The wolf got any special attacks? No. Okay. Well, I think there's a good place to leave this one. And we'll restart it tomorrow, I think.